On the remote colony world called Shia, a man named Kyle Harlan lived alone in a hidden valley. He had come years ago as part of a survey team from Earth. Their ship crashed in a bad storm, and everyone else died. Kyle survived. He built a strong shelter from pieces of the ship and things he found around the planet. He learned to hunt small animals and gather plants that were safe to eat. He set traps and alarms around his home so no big predators could get close. Kyle kept to himself. He followed the old rules from Earth Command. No contact with local intelligent life. They called it non-interference. He did not want trouble. He just wanted to stay alive and maybe one day find a way off this world. The sky on Gia had 2 moons, and at night they glowed soft blue. The days were hot and the nights cold. Kyle liked the quiet. It gave him peace after so much loss. One evening a big storm came. Dark clouds covered the sky, wind howled through the trees, rain fell hard. Kyle sat inside his shelter. By a small heater, he listened to the storm and thought about Earth. He missed green fields and blue oceans. He missed people talking and laughing. He shook his head and told himself not to think about it too much. Then he heard something. A small knock on the metal door of his shelter. It was soft but clear. Kyle froze. No one ever came here. The local people stayed far away. They feared the human with his strange tools and loud weapons. Kyle stood up slowly. He picked up his rifle just in case. He moved to the door and looked through a small window. Outside in the rain stood a small figure. It was a child, an alien child. Her skin glowed faint blue in the dark. She had thin arms and legs, and big eyes that shone like stars. She wore a torn cloak that looked too big for her. She hugged it tight around her body. Her antennae drooped low from the rain. She looked cold and tired. Kyle stared. He had seen her kind before from far away. They lived in tribes on the other side of the mountains. Had rules and ways that Kyle never understood. This child should not be here. She should be with her people. He opened the door a crack. "What do you want?" he asked in a low voice. The child looked up at him. Her voice was small but clear. "My mother died today," she said. "Can I stay with you, human, just for today?" Kyle felt something tight in his chest. He looked past her into the storm. No one else was there. No adults, no tribe members, just this small, lonely child. He knew the rules. Contact was forbidden. He could get in big trouble if anyone found out. But the child shivered hard. Her lips looked pale. He stepped back. "Come in," he said, "just for tonight." The child stepped inside slowly. Water dripped from her cloak onto the floor. Kyle closed the door against the wind. He pointed to a corner. "Stay there," he said. "Do not touch anything." She nodded and sat down on the floor. She pulled her cloak tighter. Kyle went to his supply box. He took out a dry blanket and tossed it to her. "Yourself in this," he said. She caught it and wrapped it around her shoulders. "Thank you," she whispered. Kyle sat across from her. He kept his rifle close. "What is your name?" he asked. "Lyra," she said. "My name is Lyra." Kyle nodded. "I am Kyle," he said. "Why are you here, Lyra? Where is your family?" Lyra looked down. "My mother was my only family," she said. "The others did not like us. Mother said we were different. She helped someone she should not help. Now she is gone. They left me behind. I walked a long time. I saw your lights. I thought maybe you would not turn me away." Kyle rubbed his face. He did not know what to say. He had lived alone so long, he forgot how to talk to people, let alone a child. He stood up. "I will make some food," he said. "You must be hungry." He heated water and added dried meat and roots. He made a simple soup. Lyra watched him with big eyes. When the soup was ready, he gave her a bowl. "Careful, it is hot," he said. Lyra took the bowl. She blew on it, then drank. Slowly. "It is good," she said. "Thank you." They ate in silence. The storm roared outside. Kyle watched Lyra. She ate like she had not eaten in days. When she finished, she set the bowl down and looked at him. "Will you send me away when the storm stops?" she asked. Kyle looked at the door, then back at her. I do not know, he said. We will see tomorrow. Lyra nodded. She pulled the blanket closer. I'm glad you let me in, she said. I was scared out there alone. Kyle felt strange. He had not heard kind words in years. He cleared his throat. Get some sleep, he said. There's a mat over there. Use it. Lyra went to the mat. She curled up small under the blanket. Kyle turned down the light. He sat by the door with his rifle across his lap. He listened to the rain and to Lyra's soft breathing. She fell asleep fast. Kyle stayed awake a long time. He thought about the rules. He thought about what would happen if her people came looking. He thought about the child and how small she looked, and leaned back against the wall. Outside, the storm began to slow. The two moons peeked through the clouds. Their blue light fell on the valley. Kyle looked at the sleeping child and felt something shift inside him. He did not know what it was yet, but he knew one thing. Tonight, at least, she was safe. He watched the moons move slow across the sky. He remembered his own mother, long ago on Earth. She used to sing when storms came. She said it kept the dark away. Kyle never sang. He had no voice for it now, but looking at Lyra, he wished he could do something to make her feel less alone. Morning came slow. The rain stopped, and light came through the small windows. Kyle stood up quiet, so he would not wake the child. He checked his traps outside. Nothing big had come close in the night. He gathered fresh water from the stream and brought it back. When he returned, Lyra was awake. She sat on the mat, with the blanket around her. She looked around the shelter with wide eyes. Strong, she said. It has walls that keep the wind out. Kyle set the water down. It keeps most things out, he said. Sit, I will make breakfast. He cooked more food. This time he added some dried fruit he saved. Lyra ate fast, but careful. She smiled a little when she tasted the sweet part. Kyle watched her and felt the tightness in his chest ease a bit. After they ate, Lyra stood up. I should go now, she said. The storm is over. Thank you for letting me stay. Kyle looked at her. She was small and thin. Her cloak was still damp. He thought about the mountains and the tribes. He thought about predators that hunted at day. He thought about the child walking alone. Wait, he said. You do not have to go yet. Rest a little more. Lyra looked surprised. You mean stay longer? She asked. Just until you are stronger, Kyle said. I have extra food, and the valley is safe. Lyra's eyes got bright. Thank you, she said. I will not be trouble, I promise. Kyle nodded. This would last. He did not know what would happen when her people noticed she was gone. But for now he let her stay. They spent the day quiet. Lyra helped him clean the bowls. She asked questions about his tools and his lights. Kyle answered short but clear. He showed her how the heater worked. She laughed soft when warm air came out. As the sun set, Kyle built a small fire outside. They sat by it and watched the stars come out. Lyra pointed to one bright light. That one looks like home, she said, but home does not want me now. Kyle looked at the star. He felt sad for her. He felt angry at a world that threw away its young. He put more wood on the fire. It will be cold tonight, he said. Stay close. Lyra moved closer. She leaned against his arm. Kyle did not push her away. He sat still and let her rest there. That night Kyle slept light. He kept one eye on the door, but no one came. No hunters, no tribe, no danger. Only the sound of two breathing in the quiet shelter. First time in many years, Kyle did not feel so alone. The next morning light came through the small windows of the shelter. Kyle woke early. He checked his wound from an old hunt. It was just a scar now, nothing fresh. He looked at Lyra. She still slept, curled tight under the blanket. Her antennae moved a little as she dreamed. Kyle made no sound. He started a small fire and heated water for tea. Lyra opened her eyes. She sat up slow and rubbed her face. Good morning, she said. Her voice was soft like wind through leaves. Morning, Kyle answered. He handed her a cup of warm tea. Careful, it burns. Lyra took the cup. She smelled it first, then sipped slow. "It tastes like flowers," she said. Kyle sat across from her. He drank his own tea. They said nothing for a while. The valley outside was quiet. Birds called from the trees. Water ran over rocks in the stream. After they finished, Lyra stood up. "I can help," she said. "Tell me what to do." Kyle thought for a moment. "Okay," he said. "Come outside. I will show you the garden." Into the fresh air. The sun felt warm on their skin. Kyle led her to a small patch of ground behind the shelter. He had planted roots and greens there years ago. Some came from earth seeds. Some came from plants he found that did not poison him. "This is food," he said, pointing to the green leaves. "Pull only what we need. Leave the small ones to grow." Lyra knelt down. She touched the leaves gentle. "They feel soft," she said, "like my mother's old cloak." Kyle watched her work. She pulled weeds careful and set them aside. She asked questions. "What does this one taste like? How deep do the roots go? Why do you grow them here instead of hunting everything?" Kyle answered short at first, then longer. He told her about poor soil and dry seasons. He told her how humans learned to grow food so they did not always chase animals. He showed her how to check if a root was ready by the color of the leaves. Lyra listened hard. She copied everything he did. When they finished, they had a small pile of vegetables. Kyle carried them. Inside, Lyra followed close. Inside, Kyle cut the vegetables. He added them to a pot with water and dried meat. He let it cook slow. Lyra sat near and watched. She asked more questions about Earth, about why Kyle came here, about what happened to his ship. Kyle spoke quiet. He told her about the crash, the fire, the friends who did not make it. He told her how he walked for days until he found this valley. He told her he stayed because there was nowhere else safe to go. Lyra listened without speaking. When he finished, she said, "I am sorry. Your heart must hurt a lot." Kyle looked at her. He had not thought of it that way in years. "Maybe," he said, "but pain fades if you keep moving." Lyra nodded. "My mother used to say the same thing. She said, keep moving, keep breathing, keep loving, even when it hurts." Kyle felt something warm in his chest. He turned back to the pot and stirred. They ate together at the small table. Lyra ate slow. She said, "Thank you." After every bite, Kyle watched her and thought she looked less thin today. Her eyes looked brighter. After the meal, Lyra helped clean. She washed the bowls with water from the stream. Kyle dried them. He noticed how careful she was not to break anything. In the afternoon, Kyle went to check his traps. Lyra asked to come. He said yes, but stay close. The valley had dangers, snakes with poison, claws that hid in shadows. They walked together. Kyle showed her the paths he used, the places where animals drank, the spots where berries grew safe. Lyra pointed to plants she knew. She said, "This one heals cuts. This one makes bad dreams go away. This one tastes sweet, but only if you pick it at dawn." Kyle listened. He added her words to what he already knew. Together they gathered more food, some for now, some to dry for later. When the sun started to lower, they returned to the shelter. Kyle built a fire outside. Lyra sat close to it. She looked at the flames and smiled. He pulled out a small tool from his pocket. It was a slingshot he made from strong wood and stretchy cord. He handed it to her. "Try this," he said. Lyra took it. She looked confused. "What is it for?" "To hunt small things," Kyle said, "or to scare big things away. Watch." He picked up a small stone. He pulled back the cord and let go. The stone flew fast and hit a tree trunk with a sharp sound. Lyra laughed. "It is like magic," she said. "Not magic," Kyle said. "Just practice. Here, you try." He showed her how to hold it, how to stand, how to aim. Lyra tried. She missed the first time. The stone fell short. She tried again. This time, it hit the tree low. She jumped up and clapped. I did it, she said. Kyle smiled a little. Not bad, he said. Keep practicing. They took turns shooting stones. Lyra got better fast. She laughed every time she hit something. Kyle watched and felt strange. He had not laughed in years. Now he felt the corners of his mouth turn up. Night came, rose blue and bright. Lyra looked up at them. She pointed. That big one is called Mother Moon, she said. My people say she watches over lost children. Kyle looked up too. Does she watch over you now? He asked. Lyra thought for a moment. Maybe, she said. Or maybe you do. Kyle said nothing. He added more wood to the fire. Sparks flew up into the dark. Later they went inside. Lyra sat on her mat. She looked at Kyle. Can I ask one more thing? Yes, he said. Why do humans live so short? She asked. My people live long, many hundreds of years, but you fight hard, you love hard, you protect even when it costs you. Why? Kyle leaned back against the wall. He thought about his mother, his friends, his life on Earth. He thought about the crash and the years alone. Because we know time is short, he said. We do not have forever, so we make every day count. We hold tight to the ones we care about. We do not let go easy. Lyra nodded slow. I like that, she said. I want to hold tight. His eyes. He let sleep come slow. For the first time in many years, his dreams were not full of fire and loss. They were full of small laughter and blue glowing skin and a child who called him by name. Morning would come soon. Enough time to rest, enough time to keep going, enough time to decide what came next. Days passed quiet and slow in the valley. Kyle and Lyra fell into a simple routine. They woke with the sun. They worked the garden. They checked traps. They gathered wood. They cooked simple meals. They talked more each day. Lyra told stories from her people. Kyle told stories from Earth. Sometimes they just sat and watched the two moons rise. Lyra grew stronger. Her skin glowed brighter. Her antennae stood tall. She laughed more. She ran ahead on walks. She learned to use the slingshot well. She hit targets Kyle set up. She even started to win small games they played with stones. Kyle felt different too. His shelter felt warmer. His nights felt less empty. He caught himself smiling when Lyra sang soft songs in her language. He caught himself watching her sleep and feeling something close to peace. But peace never lasts long on Zia. One afternoon, Kyle went to check the far traps alone. Lyra stayed behind to tend the fire. He walked the narrow paths through thick trees, always listening for danger. He found the first trap empty. The second had a small animal. He reset it quick. Then he heard something. Voices. Low voices, in the language of Lyra's people. Kyle froze. He crouched low behind a rock. He listened. They spoke of the starborn child, the one with tainted blood, the one who sheltered with the human monster. They said the elders decided, no more waiting. The child must be taken. The human must die. The taint must end. Kyle's heart beat hard. He counted 5 voices, maybe more. They carried weapons, long blades, spears with sharp tips. They moved toward the valley, toward his home. Kyle ran back fast. He stayed off the main path. He used the hidden trails. He reached the shelter before they did. Lyra sat outside. She fed small sticks to the fire. She looked up happy when she saw him. Kyle grabbed her arm. Inside now, he said. Fast. Lyra saw his face. She did not ask why. She ran inside. Kyle followed. He barred the door. He checked his rifle. Loaded it full. He grabbed extra rounds. He set his knife on the table. He looked at Lyra. People are coming, he said. Your people. They want to take you. They want to hurt me. Stay in the back corner. Do not come out until I say. Lyra's eyes grew wide. They found me, she whispered. I am sorry, Kyle. I brought danger. Not your fault, Kyle said. Stay quiet, stay low. He moved to the window, he looked out. The valley looked calm, sunlight on grass, birds in trees, but he knew they were close. Minutes passed, then he saw them. 5 figures, tall, thin, glowing skin, weapons in hand. They spread out. They moved careful. They knew the human had traps. Kyle waited. He let them come closer. One stepped on a tripwire. A small explosion of dirt and smoke went up. The figure fell back, hurt but alive. The others shouted. They rushed forward. Kyle fired from the window. 1 shot, 1 hit. A warrior dropped, clutching his leg. Kyle fired again. Another hit, this time in the shoulder. Behind rocks and trees. They yelled at him in their language. Kyle did not understand all words, but he understood hate. He understood threat. Lyra cried soft in the corner. Kyle looked at her. "Stay down," he said. He fired more shots. They answered with thrown spears. 1 spear hit the metal wall. It made a loud clang. Another came through the window. It missed Kyle by inches. It stuck in the far wall. Kyle reloaded fast. He aimed careful. He hit another warrior in the arm. The attackers pulled back. They talked fast. They planned. Then Kyle saw the leader. A tall female with bright markings. She raised her hand. They stopped. They waited. She called out in broken common tongue. "Human, give the child. We take her, you live." Kyle shouted back. "She stays. She is safe here. Go away." The leader laughed cold. "The child is poison. She carries your stink. We clean it." Kyle felt anger rise hot. He gripped the rifle tight. "No," he said. "She is not poison. She is a child." Signaled. They moved again. 2 came from the left, 2 from the right. The leader stayed in front. They threw more spears. Kyle ducked. 1 hit the heater. It sparked and died. Kyle fired back. He hit 1 on the left. The warrior fell. The others kept coming. Lyra stood up. She ran to Kyle. "Let me talk," she said. "Maybe they listen." "No," Kyle said. "Get back." But Lyra pushed past him. She opened the door a crack. She called out in her language. "Mother Moon sees you. Stop this. The human did no harm. He helped me." The leader stepped forward. "Child, you shame us. Come out. We take you home." Lyra shook her head. "This is home now." The leader raised her blade. "You choose death then." She charged. The others followed. Kyle pushed Lyra behind him. He stepped out. He fired. He hit the leader in the leg. She fell, but got up. She limped forward fast. Kyle aimed again, but a spear came from the side. It hit him hard in the shoulder. Pain exploded white hot. Blood soaked his shirt. He dropped to 1 knee. The rifle fell from his hand. Lyra screamed. "Kyle." The leader reached them. She raised her blade high. Kyle looked up. He saw the end coming. He reached for his knife, but his arm would not move right. Lyra jumped in front. She spread her arms. "Stop," she cried. "He is mine. He is family." The leader hesitated. The blade stopped mid-air. The others froze. They stared at the small child standing between them and the wounded human. Lyra looked at the leader. Her voice shook, but stayed strong. "He gave me food. He gave me warmth. He gave me safety. You gave me nothing. You left me to die. He chose me. I choose him." The leader lowered the blade slow. Her eyes moved from Lyra to Kyle. Blood dripped from his shoulder. He stared back. No fear, only steady resolve. The valley went quiet. Even the wind seemed to stop. The leader spoke low. "The child claims the human. The bond is spoken in blood and words." She turned to the others. "We go," she said. "This. P." They helped their wounded. They picked up fallen weapons. They walked away slow. No one looked back. Kyle stayed on his knee. Blood pooled under him. Lyra ran to him. She pressed her hands to the wound. Tears fell on his shirt. "Kyle, you are hurt. Bad," she said. Kyle tried to smile. "It is not so bad," he said. "Just a scratch." Lyra shook her head. "No, it bleeds too much." She tore a piece from her cloak. She pressed it hard against the hole. Kyle hissed in pain, but he let her do it. They sat there together in the dirt. The sun lowered. The two moons started to rise. Lyra held the cloth tight. She whispered soft words in her language, words that sounded like healing, words that sounded like love. Kyle looked at her small, determined face. He reached up with his good hand. He touched her cheek. "You stood in front of me," he said. "You could have run." Lyra shook her head. "Never," she said. "You let me stay. I stay with you always." He leaned against the wall. Lyra kept pressure on the wound. She sang quiet, a song her mother taught her, a song for the hurt, a song for the brave. Night came full. The moons lit the valley blue. Kyle closed his eyes. He felt tired, very tired, but he felt something else too, something strong. He felt not alone. He felt like he had someone worth fighting for, someone worth bleeding for, someone worth breaking every rule for. Lyra stayed by his side all night. She did not sleep. She watched him. She kept the wound closed. She whispered to him, "You will be okay. You must be okay." And in the quiet dark, under the blue moons, Kyle knew one thing clear. The fight was not over, but whatever came next, he would face it with her, because she had chosen him, and he had chosen her back. Morning light came soft through the windows. Kyle woke with pain sharp in his shoulder. The wound burned hot. He tried to sit up slow. Lyra was already awake. She knelt beside him. She held fresh cloth soaked in cool water from the stream. "Do not move much," she said. "The bleeding stopped, but it looks bad." Kyle looked down. The cloth she used last night was dark with blood. He felt weak. His head spun a little. He lay back down. "I will be fine," he said. "Just need rest." Lyra shook her head. "No, you need more. I will help." She went outside. She came back with leaves she knew. She crushed them between stones. She made a thick green paste. She lifted the old cloth careful. Kyle hissed when air hit the wound. "Sorry," she whispered. "This will cool it. It helps healing." She spread the paste gentle over the cut. It stung at first. Then it felt better. Cool and calm, Kyle relaxed a bit. "Thank you," he said. Lyra wrapped clean cloth around his shoulder. Tight, but not too tight. Tied it with a strip from her cloak. She sat back and looked at him. "You saved me," she said. "Now I save you." Kyle tried to smile. It did not reach his eyes much. "You stood in front of a blade for me. That makes us even." Lyra looked down. "I was scared, but I could not let them hurt you. You are kind. You are home." Kyle felt warmth in his chest despite the pain. He reached out with his good hand. He patted her arm. "We keep each other safe. That is how it works now." Days passed slow. Kyle stayed inside most of the time. Lyra did the work. She checked traps. She gathered food. She fetched water. She kept the fire going. She cleaned the shelter. She asked Kyle questions when she did not know something. He answered from his mat. He taught her how to reset a snare, how to tell safe mushrooms from bad ones, how to listen for predator steps. Lyra learned fast. She came back each day with small victories, a fat bird for the pot, fresh roots, clean water. She told him everything she did, wanted him to know she could handle things. One afternoon, she came in with a handful of glowing flowers. They grew near the stream at dusk. She said these heal faster than the leaves. She mashed them and added them to the paste. She changed his bandage every day. The wounds started to close. The red lines faded. The heat went down. Kyle grew stronger. He sat up more. He walked short distances inside the shelter. He tested his arm. It hurt, but he could lift it. He picked up his rifle with care. He practiced aiming at the wall. He wanted to be ready if they came back. Lyra watched him. She worried, but said nothing. She just stayed close. One evening, they sat outside by the fire. The two moons hung low and bright. The air felt cool and clean. Kyle looked at the stars. He thought about distant ships, about Earth, about rules long broken. Lyra sat beside him. She leaned against his good side. She looked up too. "Kyle," she said soft, "when you get better, will you send me away?" Turned to her. "Why do you ask that?" "Because I heard you talk in sleep, about rules, about no contact, about being alone. You followed rules a long time. Maybe you want them back." Kyle stared into the fire. He thought hard. He remembered the crash, the loneliness, the years of silence. He remembered the night she knocked, the small voice asking to stay. He remembered her standing in front of the blade. "No," he said. "I do not want the rules back. The rules kept me alive, but they kept me empty too. You changed that." Lyra looked at him, her eyes big and bright. "You mean I can stay?" Kyle nodded. "You can stay as long as you want, but I need to be honest. I broke big rules by letting you in. If other humans find us, they might take you away. They might say I did wrong." Lyra frowned. "Would they hurt you?" "Maybe," Kyle said, "but I do not care about that anymore. I care about you. I want you safe. I can try to contact old outposts. There might be humans still out there. Real home. A place with more people, more safety." Lyra shook her head fast. "No, I do not want that. I want here, with the valley, with the garden, with the fire, with you." Kyle looked at her small face. He saw fear there. Fear of losing what she found. Fear of being alone again. "Then, we stay hidden," he said. "We stay together. We make this place stronger. We watch for danger. We live quiet." Lyra smiled big. "Thank you, Kyle." He put his arm around her careful. She rested her head on his shoulder. They watched the moons move slow. They listened to night sounds. Crickets, wind in trees, soft water over rocks. Kyle spoke quiet. "I was supposed to be alone. The rules said no family, no ties. But family is not always born. It is chosen. I choose you, Lyra. You are my family now." Lyra hugged him tight. "You are my family too. Always." They sat like that a long time. The fire crackled low. Sparks floated up. Kyle felt peace. Real peace. Not the empty quiet of before, but the full quiet of having someone to share the dark with. The next days, Kyle moved more. He walked outside, short distances. Lyra went with him. She carried the rifle when his shoulder hurt too much. They checked the valley edges. They looked for signs of the tribes. No tracks. No broken branches. No glowing marks. Nothing. Kyle showed Lyra how to build better traps, stronger walls around the garden, hidden paths for escape. He taught her to use his old radio. It did not work well, but he fixed small parts. She learned to turn dials and listen for static. One night they sat inside. The wind blew hard outside. Kyle looked at Lyra. She practiced with the slingshot inside, hitting a mark on the wall. "You are good at that," he said. Lyra grinned. "I had a good teacher." Kyle laughed soft. It felt strange, but good. He stood up slow. He walked to the door. He opened it a crack. He looked out. The moons lit everything silver blue. No movement. No danger. He closed the door. He turned to Lyra. "Plan," he said. "If they come again, we fight smart. We do not wait inside. We use the valley. We use tricks." Lyra nodded. "I know the ways of my people. I can show you weak spots, where they walk, where they hide." Kyle smiled. "Good, we work together." They talked late into the night. They drew plans in the dirt floor. They marked places for traps, places for cover, places to run if needed. Lyra added her knowledge. Kyle added his. When they finished they were tired, but they felt ready. Kyle lay on his mat. Lyra curled near him. She whispered, "Good night, Kyle." "Good night, Lyra," he answered. He closed his eyes. He thought about the future, not with fear, but with hope. He thought about teaching her more, about watching her grow, about years of quiet days and shared nights. He knew danger might come again. He knew the galaxy was big and cold, but in this small valley, two souls had made something warm, something strong, something worth every risk. He slept deep that night. Came gentle dreams of laughter, dreams of blue moons, dreams of a child who called him family. And outside the wind sang soft, through trees and over water, carrying peace across the valley. For now at least, the world stayed kind. Months passed in the hidden valley. Kyle grew strong again, his shoulder healed with only a thin scar left. Lyra grew taller too. Her voice became clearer, her steps more sure. She learned every path, every trap, every secret of the place. They worked side by side. They laughed together. They shared quiet stories under the two blue moons. The tribe stayed away for a long time. No tracks, no signs, no glowing eyes in the dark. Kyle and Lyra hoped the leader kept her word. They hoped the elders listened to the story of the child who chose the human. They hoped peace would last. But hope alone does not stop danger. One clear morning, Lyra came running from the high ridge. She climbed there every day to watch the passes. Her face looked worried. "They come," she said. "Many this time, more than before. They carry fire sticks. They move fast." Kyle stood up quick. He grabbed his rifle. He checked the load. He looked at Lyra. "How many?" he asked. "At least 20, she said. "Elders, too. The ones with bright marks. They look angry." Kyle nodded. He felt calm. Not fear. Calm. He had known this day might come. He prepared for it. "We do not hide this time," he said. "We meet them. We show them we are not weak. We show them the bond." Lyra looked scared, but she nodded. "I will help," she said. "I know their ways." They worked fast. Kyle set the last traps, the ones he saved for big trouble. Explosive charges from old ship fuel cells, hidden in the ground along the main path. Automated turrets made from drone parts, small but loud. They pointed them at weak spots. Lyra showed him where her people liked to charge, where they liked to hide, where their leaders stood. They finished just as shadows moved at the valley edge. Figures appeared, tall, thin, glowing skin, weapons raised, 25, maybe more, elders in front. Their marks shone bright. The leader from before walked beside them. She limped a little from the old wound. They stopped at the edge. The leader called out, "Human child, come out. We talk. No fight yet." Kyle stepped outside. Lyra stood beside him. She held the slingshot loaded. Kyle held the rifle ready, but low. "We are here," Kyle said. "Speak." An elder stepped forward, old, tall, skin almost white with age. He spoke slow. "We heard the claim. The child chose you, the human. You fought for her. Blood was spilled. We respect blood. But we must see. We must know if the bond is true, if it is strong enough to break our laws." Kyle looked at Lyra, then back at them. "It is true," he said. "She is my family. I chose her. She chose me. That is enough." The elder shook his head. "Not for us. We need proof. Proof that a human can protect one of ours. Proof that you are not poison." The leader added, "If you fail, we take the child. We end the taint." Kyle felt anger rise, but he kept it down. "What proof?" he asked. The elder pointed to the valley. "A trial, by combat, one of ours against you. If you win, we leave forever." Lyra grabbed Kyle's arm. "No," she said. "They will kill you." Kyle looked down at her. "I will not lose," he said. "Trust me." Lyra's tears fell, but she nodded. "I trust you." Kyle stepped forward. "I accept," he said. "One against one. No tricks, no help." The elder smiled cold. "Good. Choose your weapon." Kyle lifted his rifle. "No," he said. "No guns, no fire sticks. Blade against blade. Fair fight." The elder nodded. A warrior stepped out. Young, strong, blade long and curved. He smiled. He thought this easy. They met in the open ground between the shelter and the trees. The others formed a circle. They watched silent. Lyra stood with the elders. She looked small, but brave. The warrior charged fast, blade high. Kyle waited. He moved at the last second. He stepped aside. The blade missed. He brought his own knife up quick. It caught the warrior's arm. Blood flowed. The warrior hissed. He spun. He attacked again. Kyle dodged. He blocked. He moved like he learned in hard years, alone in wild places. He did not fight pretty. He fought to win. He used rocks. He used dirt. He used every trick. The warrior grew angry. He swung wild. Kyle saw the opening. He stepped in close. He drove his knife into the side. Not deep, but enough. The warrior dropped to his knees. Blade fell. Kyle stepped back. He breathed hard, blood on his hands, but not much his own. The elder watched. The circle stayed quiet. Kyle looked at them. "Is that enough proof?" he asked. The elder walked forward slow. He looked at the fallen warrior. He looked at Kyle. He looked at Lyra. "The child stands free," he said. "The human fights for her. The bond holds." He turned to the others. "We go. The taint is not taint. It is strength. We leave them in peace." The leader looked at Kyle long. She nodded once, respect in her eyes. Then she turned. They helped the wounded. They walked away slow. This time no threats, no promises of return, just quiet steps fading into the trees. Kyle stood still until they were gone. Ran to him. She hugged him tight. "You won," she said. "You really won." Kyle hugged her back with his good arm. "Yes," he said, "we won." They walked back to the shelter. The valley felt different now, safer, brighter. The two moons rose that night. They sat outside and watched them. Lyra leaned against Kyle. "Thank you," she said, "for everything, for letting me stay, for fighting for me." Kyle looked at the moons, then at her. "You do not need to thank me," he said. "This is home now, for both of us." Years passed after that. The valley stayed hidden. Lyra grew into a young woman, tall, graceful, her glow soft but strong. She learned everything Kyle could teach. She taught him her songs, her healing ways, her patience. They built a bigger garden. They added rooms to the shelter. They made a lookout tower on the ridge. They lived quiet but full. One evening, just like the first, they sat by the fire. The moons hung low, blue and calm. Lyra looked at Kyle. She smiled soft. "Kyle," she said, "thank you again for the day I came, for the night you said yes." Kyle smiled back, the lines on his face deep but kind. "You can stay forever," he said, "and I mean it." Lyra laughed, gentle. "Forever is a long time," she said. "Good thing we have each other." They watched the fire die low. Sparks floated up into the night. The galaxy turned cold and wide around them. But in the small valley warmth stayed. Two hearts beat steady. One human, one not, but both the same in the ways that mattered. They proved something big without words. That family crosses stars. That love chooses its own path. That humanity's strongest gift is not ships or weapons. It is the quiet promise to hold on, to protect, to never let go. And so they lived on, in peace, in joy, in the light of two blue moons.